everyone. Welcome to this edition of Kriegs Corner with the K. Today, I'm joined by the man probably most responsible for getting me to Vendetta, whether he knows it or not, Anthony Fontanello. Did I say that right? Fontanello?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's right. Attaboy.
Fuck yeah, it's those New Yorkers. Ant, how you doing?
Good man. Good man. Yeah. I remember not too long ago, a couple months ago, you hit me up looking for an internship. I got you an internship within 15 minutes. I said, yeah, all right,
Dude,
come
the
on
whole
down.
the whole thing was fucking crazy because so for those of you who don't know, Anthony and I, Anthony graduated, but we went to the same school. We didn't know each other when we were there. I'm a commuter. Kept my head down, especially after they cut the wrestling program. Like I kind of just did what I did and just get in, get out. It's how I operated. But then, everyone needs an internship to graduate. I hit up our career services office and I was like, I'm looking for a sports media internship. They're like, all right, boom, we have a place for you. This person worked there last year. That person happened to be Anthony. They gave me an email, and literally within 15 minutes, it was kind of all said and done. It's kind of fucking crazy looking back on it,
Yeah.
but just quick little thank you to Anthony for getting me here, because without me being here, there'd be no blogs, no podcast, no Creeks Corner, none of that. So, Anthony, fellow New Yorker, we actually are on opposite sides of the sports fandom here.
hmm
It's usually like a Yankees Giants pairing and a Mets Jets. Of course, I got the shit end of the stick with the Mets Jets, but dude, we're literally today's kind of like the first day where sports felt real. Brackets came out yesterday for
Yep.
March Madness. We've been in the spring training for a minute now, but nobody really gives a shit about that. But kind of the big thing going on today is NFL free agency started and shit just kind of went crazy. But the Giants have been kind of absent. What's going on there?
Yeah. Now I was expecting them to at least try to make moves. Actually, I did see today that they were in on Leonard Floyd, although I believe he did go and sign with the Rams, resign with the Rams. Uh, who I want mostly out of this free agency. I know this is like me. This is like a wish to God at this point. I want Kenny Galladay. Now, I don't know if the Giants are going to be able to swing that because, I mean, if I was Kenny Galladay and I'm being sold by on a team that was 6-10 last year, like all right, you had some quarterback injury, you had injuries across basically the entire offense at one point. You know, I don't really know if I'd want to do that coming from his perspective, coming out of Detroit. I know everybody that's in Detroit, they literally just want to go to a team where they know they're going to win. And you know what? I really can't say that I blame them. Like
No, not at
the
all.
Detroit Lions have just ruined Barry Sanders' career. They made Megatron hate football. So, I mean, I don't blame Kenny Galladay if he goes somewhere else, but I would really love to see uh, Gettleman go and get Galladay. Now, I don't like Gettleman at all. I
That
think
was
he's
my next question.
terrible.
Are you a fan? Are
Yeah,
you a fan of
yeah,
Gettleman? I don't know anyone in New York who really is.
yeah. No, like I give him a pass for last year. Actually, I eased off of him a little bit last year. Like the beginning of the year, I was ripping him left and right. But as the team started to come together and the defense started playing well, like his free agent pickups were doing work. Blake Martinez, Bradbury, Logan Ryan, they were all shining, and even Leonard Williams, who I thought was a stupid get to begin with, turned out to be that Leonard Williams actually was a pretty good player. Just had to get off the Jets. Go
Yeah,
figure.
yeah, go figure. I thought that Leonard Williams was like that he was just kind of one of those guys that was a career boss in the NFL, and I was laughing at the Giants giving him a shit ton of money.
Yep.
I mean, I was fucking wrong, but what do I know? Just a lowly Jet fan. But the one thing that Jets and Giants fans have in common is the hatred of the Patriots. Even though the Giants like get a little bit of they have two thumbs up on them, both their championships in the last 2 decades coming against them. But dude, what is up with the Patriots? They just fucking signed everyone. This is literally the most unlike Bill Belichick thing I've ever seen. I don't know what to even think. And like they're big names. They're big
Yeah.
names with big price tags. Uh, what the fuck?
This is actually, I believe, this is the first time. the Patriots have spent this type of money in free agency in, I believe, over a decade, may even be two. I know as long as Tom Brady's been there, they really haven't been grabbing free agents like this. But to be fair, they also have never been in this position before. They didn't make the playoffs last year. Their team was not good. Like their offense was pretty bad. They had a couple games where they exploded offensively, but that was against some of the worst defenses in the league, so you can't really look at that too well. Now, I will say this: a lot of guys on their defense did opt out
Yep.
for COVID reasons, which is why I feel like the Patriots also are going to be one of those teams that kind of just sneak up on everybody. Because if people remember, and I'm sure they do, 2 years ago the Patriots defense was tops in the NFL. Stephon Gilmore, the McCourty brothers, they were playing out of their minds. Hightower, they were going crazy. That defense was not letting up more than 20 points a game. And a lot of those guys ended up opting out this year, and Stephon Gilmore ended up getting hurt. So add that with the free agents they signed on offense. They got Cam Newton some help. And listen, don't sleep on the Patriots. I wouldn't sleep on Bill Belichick. I mean, I know everybody's kind of like basically wrote the ending of that book now that Tom Brady's won the Super Bowl without
That book
Bill
is
Belichick,
far from finished.
but it's not over.
I think
It's not
everyone
over
knows
yet.
that.
It's not
Yeah.
over. It's not over until the Bucks play the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I just
Then it'll
don't
be
get why
over.
they brought back Cam Newton because if they're gonna spend this money, they had all this, they could have done a sign and trade and eaten some money on a big deal or something to get a better quarterback. I mean, I'm not a fan of this quarterback draft class. I know the Jets are in the hunt for what seems like to be Wilson, or it seems like it's going to be Wilson at this point, but Cam Newton, I don't think is going to win you any games nowadays. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. And bringing in Jonnu Smith, the tight end, he can catch passes. They brought in Bourne today. They did a whole bunch of like wide receiver type moves, but it's if Cam can't really get the ball there anymore, I don't know what the point is. But yeah, I mean, I'm never counting out Bill. I've watched him destroy me for the last 20 years, and
Yeah.
I even had him as a little buy on Symbol back in one of my first NFL Symbol posts. But crazy in the NFL. It felt like we were literally in like blog hell. Vendetta. Trey was like prepping us for 3 days. Like, all right, like
Yeah.
who's on here? This that. Like we got shit to do. Have your drafts ready. And of course the one. And then I draft one, Carl Lawson, and he ends up going to the Jets. So I have to I just finished that one up. The Jets they could sign a million people. They could draft a quarterback. They were the worst roster on paper. They're not getting shit done, but who the hell knows?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. At least the Jets signed somebody. I know see what I'm about to say is a little bit of a joke because it's just like I feel like the Jets troll their fans at this point. So at around I think it was like I want to say like 610, 605 on Twitter. The Jets posted a free agency tracker to
Yep.
catch up on all their free agency signings. When at that point, all they signed was this linebacker Davis, who was a backup in Detroit. And it was like, we don't need the tracker. We know who's the only guy you signed. So that just kind of seemed like a troll job. So they kind of save face a little bit, at least get themselves lost in, get somebody because the Jets had probably one of the most freed up cap spaces this season, and they haven't done anything really yet. They signed two people, okay, but your team was terrible. Like you need to go into free agency, get what you can in free agency, and then build through the draft.
The
So
sad part about that is that no matter what they do, they'll still suck. They're the Jets.
that is
Shit just doesn't
that's
ever
sad. Yeah.
ever change. All right, into the better half of my sports fandom. Yours too, I guess. Baseball. Mets, Yankees. I'm obviously a Mets guy. Have been my entire life. They're my number one. Do you think that we could get a potential Subway Series World Series? Because I do. And I'm not, and I'm being like super optimistic with the Mets. They're still the Dodgers and the Padres ahead of them, or ahead of them, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
are they, is it possible, or am I just being an idiot?
Listen, I think it is possible. However, this has been this has been a constant theme, at least for the Yankees, over the past, I don't know, since 2017. 2017 was a magical ride. The Yankees ended up getting to the ALCS when we really shouldn't have made it past the wild card round. Like, we weren't that good. And we ended up going on a magical ride, took it all the way to game 7 of the ALCS. That didn't hurt as much. Going forward from 2017, it has just been a lot of playoff disappointments. So I could sit here and tell you, yes, it is a possibility. I know the Mets on their side, they have to worry about the Padres, the Dodgers. And I also feel like a lot of people are sleeping on the Braves.
A
Like,
hundred
at the same
percent.
time, the
I a
Braves,
hundred
you
percent
got to
agree with
think the
you.
Braves were just in game 7 of the NLCS. And to be fair, they really should have came away with that series. They just did the typical Atlanta choke job and choked away the series. But nevertheless, the Braves are still good. The Mets have a lot of hurdles to overcome, but at the same time, the Yankees are going to have their fair share of trouble too, just because I know this Yankees team like the back of my hand. I know what's going to happen. Zach Britton already got hit with the injury bug. He's not available till at least the middle of June. So that's already one big piece of the puzzle down. Okay, it's just the injury bug with the Yankees just keeps coming up over and over and over again. And honestly, it's only a matter of time before Judge and or Stanton both go down. Then I'm gonna have to worry. Then we're gonna be sitting here with replacement Yankees again.
At least they kept DJ. I really, for some reason, I
Oh,
thought that they were gonna
you,
miss that he was gonna go somewhere else because the Yankees weren't gonna open up the checkbook. But
no,
Cashman did the right thing,
yeah.
at least this offseason so far. And
Adam, you don't even know. I was literally planning a protest outside Yankee Stadium if they let DJ walk. I
you were
was
not
not going
definitely
to
not the
be.
only one.
I was not going to be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with the Yankees and the Mets have done a great job of this offseason is you you know that pitching and bullpen has got to be is the difference when it comes to postseason and making a possible World Series run. And the Yankees, for whatever reason, have never ever at least the last 5, 6 years, gotten a starting pitcher in the trade deadline, done anything during the season to make their
Mm-hmm.
team better.
Yep.
And I don't get why. It's not like they have like they're low on cash. They're they go over the fucking luxury tax for 1 year. You eat the fine and you win your World Series and you go celebrate and you don't have to do it again. But I, I don't know. Is Cashman going to do something? Is there something? What are you guys missing? You think? From being other than a little bit more depth in case one of those guys gets hurt, but it's hard to plan for injuries.
Yeah. Honestly, I I would say but it's the same story every year. It's the starting rotation. Look after Garrett Cole. Who do we really have? Corey Kluber is a question mark. Jameson Talion is a question mark. Domingo Orman is a question mark. I got 3 question marks lined up right after my ace. Like, I'm sorry, but let's say, okay, so I got those 3 guys. Chances are one of them is going to work out, but the chances are that 2 of them are not going to work out. One will probably be mediocre, and the other one will be absolutely horrible, and it'll be like, I don't want to see this guy pitching anymore, much like J.A. Happ for the past 2 years.
Yeah, he was
So
brutal.
I, it's just judging on Cashman's past. I don't see him trading for a pitcher before the deadline because as he tells the Yankee fan, which honestly I don't know if I believe it, but maybe I maybe can believe it, is that the asking prices for some of these pitchers are like ridiculously high come trade deadline. Like you got GMs asking Cashman for Glaber and Clint Frazier for like some
Number
third
three in
guy
a rotation. Yeah, yeah.
third guy in the rotation. I mean, I don't buy it, but at the same time, I can see a little bit of truth behind that just because I know that the other GMs in the MLB are just going to sit there and just be like, I don't want to help the Yankees because we don't like the Yankees because nobody likes us. So they're just going to try to screw us over. Be like, all right, you want this guy? Well, you're going to give us Glaber and Clint Frazier, which no, that's not happening.
As a fan, would you want? To me, I get the Glaber hype. He's solid. He is a potential future for this team. But is Clint Frazier like? Would you not give up Clint Frazier for a number 3, like a true number 3 come playoff time?
A true number 3, honestly, no, because I think very highly of Clint Frazier. I'm a big Clint Frazier guy. What he did last year in terms of his improvements to his weaknesses was really what won me over more than anything. He went from being an absolute liability in the outfield to being a Gold Glove finalist last year. Now, granted, it was 60 games, but to be honest, 60 games is a little different when we're talking about fielding rather than hitting. Because fielding, it's more like you only need probably a 40 game sample size to really see what kind of fielder the guy's going to be. So, as far as I'm concerned, Clint Frazier's cleaned up the fielding, and he's a great hitter. He has the potential to be one of those guys that will hit you 290, get you 30 home runs at playing at Yankee Stadium, and probably right around like 85 to 90 RBIs. He's one of those. He's one of those guys, and he can do that. So honestly, I wouldn't get rid of Clint Frazier just because I like the way the kid plays. I like his hustle. I like the fact that he's also not a home run or nothing guy, which the Yankees have way too much of. Granted, he's not as great as a contact hitter as DJ is, but DJ is a once in a lifetime type player. So, but no, honestly, the only way I'd give up Clint Frazier would be in some sort of package deal for like a big time pitcher like number one or borderline number two, depending on what team he's on. That's really the only guy that I would be okay with giving Clint up for.
Good to know because Clint's kind of got the shit under the stick in a lot of situations. He got sent to the
Yeah.
minors, right? Like he's always kind of been like an extra piece that they want to play chess with and move him around. And I'm sure he's been mentioned in every single trade package for the last 3 or 4 years since he's been around. But it, I don't know. I mean, I think this might be the year where the Mets kind of overtake the Yankees. I mean, 2015 was Um, it's just like even though we made the World Series, it's kind of like a blip on the radar at this point because they haven't even been close to it. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
the Yankees have been. But listen, this is the Yankees' longest World Series drought in the last
Oh,
forever. I
I
mean,
know.
it's
Yeah.
20 years. But listen, it is what it is.
Hey, you. Yeah, you! In case you hadn't heard, your favorite Renegade Sports Media Group has its own Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media to support our efforts to continuously bring you sports, gaming, and other media coverage as only we can. We've got 4 different membership tiers. For $3 a month, we'll give you a simple thank you on our Patreon site. For $6 a month, you get a thank you and you get to become a recruit in Jackson Law's Vendetta University Gaming Series. For $10 a month, you get everything from the previous tiers, a special thank you at the end of our videos, free access to our upcoming Discord chat, and a free koozie after 4 months. And then the big dog, $50 a month, gets you everything from the previous tiers, as well as opportunities for Fantasy League invites, stream gaming, possible invites to mock NFL and NBA draft sessions, a once a month Google Hangout, and after 4 months, a free t-shirt. Yeah! Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media and help us to improve our pledge to bring you the best sports, gaming, and other media coverage.
All right, into the more fun stuff. Dogecoin.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Okay. So I have. Do you really believe in it, or are you just down to get in the mix on Twitter and fuck around with it? Because I am not a believer in the meme cryptos or whatever you want to call them.
Oh no, I am. I have about 15,000 Dogecoin. Yeah, I got about $1,000 in Dogecoin right now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I'm like full in. I'm like full in on the Shiba Inu, on the Dogecoin going to the moon, and it's one of those things that I thought it was a joke. Like it was a joke in the summer of this year, around August. I had like 62,000 Dogecoin in the summer. Now, I was just a little joke, and like these kids on TikTok ended up pumping it like, I don't know, a couple 100%. So I sold it. Like I made like a good, like a nice little profit. And I was like, all right, that's all it's gonna do. Now come, I want to say around January, February, right when GameStop and AMC and all those stocks just took off, right after uh the trader Vlad decided to uh, tank all those stocks, then everyone just hopped on Dogecoin. And the fact that it stayed at 5 cents and it's been hovering around like the high fives to 6 cents tells me that this is really something to look into. Also made me maybe like a really big believer when Mark Cuban said that he was he's started to accept Dogecoin as payment for Mavs tickets and Mavs apparel at their arena. That actually, when he said that, I bought like another $250 of Dogecoin.
Yeah,
Like
I
when you
don't
got someone
know.
like that accepting it as a payment, it's almost like how can you not like buy it? Because and then and Elon Musk, with all the power that this guy has, he tweets about Bitcoin, it goes up $2,000. He tweets about Dogecoin, it goes up about 300%. It's pretty ridiculous, but when there are a couple guys like that literally have that much power and they could pump Dogecoin whenever they feel like it just by tweeting about it or being like, oh, I bought like a million Dogecoin. Like one day Elon Musk is gonna drop the I bought a million Dogecoin on us, and we're gonna see Dogecoin just absolutely fly. So
But even with all that,
can't wait.
Cuban pumped it. Said it about the Mavs stuff. It didn't. Did it ever get above 5 cents? Did it ever get above 6 cents? Like,
It actually went to I know it went to 6 cents the other day. I'm gonna check it right now. So it
all I'm
did go
saying
to
is, I hope you're diversifying your crypto portfolio and it's not just all Doge. Do you have Bitcoin or no?
I don't have Bitcoin. I don't have
I,
enough
I,
money for Bitcoin.
I'm such an idiot because I have Bitcoin probably back in like right when I graduated high school, like 2016, 2017, around that time, like coming home and all my friends were first getting into like their introductions to the
Oh
stock
man, yeah.
market. And like, back when it was around like 20K and I was like, or probably lower than that, honestly. I was like, okay, like I got $100 worth. And then it got to what, I don't know, I made a little bit of money on it. And now like every day I have like a big stock market group chat that me and my boys are all in, and we're also sharing market news, giving tips, all whatnot. And every single day they bring up Bitcoin, I just like send a crying emoji and just say, let me know when it gets to under 30. Because if it gets
Yeah,
to under 30, I'm getting back in. But I just feel like I missed a wave, and but everyone just keeps saying you didn't miss the wave. Just keep getting in, keep getting in. But I just don't have the fucking balls to do that anymore.
yeah. See, that'd be like Bitcoin would be something that I would get into if like out of the offshoot chance I like hit like 100 grand on a scratch off, and I would go and just like throw 40 grand into Bitcoin because for me at this point it's not even worth me like just getting fractional shares of it at this point. I should have got it last year when the pandemic hit and it dropped to about I think $3,000 to $5,000 a share. That was when I should have got it because I could have got at least a full share of it. And I mean, think about it. I could have spent all my money on Bitcoin, but at the same
You
time,
could have
I would
bought
have,
the site.
yeah, I would be up 50 grand right now. I mean, I'm an idiot too for not doing that. But at the same time, you know, it is what it is. I just think that Bitcoin is it's like one of those things where it's like limitless. There's no you can't put a limit on what this price can go to. Like I've heard stuff in the news about Bitcoin being 150,000 by the end of April. So I don't know. And you know what? I haven't really seen anything that would show me otherwise. Because one
I'll have
day
the
it'll
worst FOMO. I swear to God, I will literally cry
yeah.
and cry
Like
forever.
one day it goes down to like 50,000 and then shoots up within 2 days to 62,000, and it's just like how is it? It's crazy to me. But I see that as one of those things where it's going to be limitless, and it's really most likely the currency of the future. Like I guarantee in about 50, 60 years from now, they're going to be paying us in Bitcoin rather than paying us in like US currency.
Dude, Russell Okun taking his money in Bitcoin might be like the sneaky smartest business
Oh,
investment or whatever you
absolutely.
want to call of whatever. And he was getting laughed at. I know I was laughing at him. Like, what do you just take the real money? If you want Bitcoin, just buy it in Bitcoin. But ooh, dude, so I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like I missed a wave. And even though I'm probably saying this, and I'm gonna look back on this episode specifically in a year or 2 years and be like, no, you're a fucking idiot. You didn't miss the wave. Like it was just the beginning there. But so when did you get into the stock market? Have you always been in it, or did you get in like most people when
No,
when
no,
the pandemic hit
yeah,
and
I
you
was in
got
it
in the
around
Robin Hood life?
I was in it around the pandemic. I was a Robin Hooder, like a true Robin Hooder, until Vlad betrayed us all, and I went on a whole rant about it that night. I got off of Robin Hood. Now
You
I
got off
trade.
Robin Hood that night.
Yeah, I did. I transferred all my stocks into Webull.
Nice.
I transferred my whole portfolio into Webull. The only thing is, I can't transfer my crypto, so I can't transfer Dogecoin. So I just left it in Robinhood for now, and until I find a way to get it somewhere else, or I'll just use Robinhood just for my Dogecoin, and
So
that's really it.
did you transfer it or did you have to sell and then buy?
No, see, because I didn't want to sell and buy
I was
because
gonna say the
I had
short term
Dogecoin
capital gains would have fucking murdered
because
you.
I had Dogecoin at like 3 cents, and I didn't want to sell my and any of my other stocks at the time. I didn't want to sell those either because my positions were just too good for me to sell and then buy it again. So I transfer them over.
Are we in the middle of like the biggest bubble ever? Like the most like inflation? Like because once like after March they got really low and then they kind of just like started going and going and we had a rough patch a few weeks back, but I just considering half the country is still closed and the world is not like
Hmm.
not what it is, like I feel like we're just literally just getting our hopes up for it and we're gonna walk into the next fucking depression.
Ah, see, I don't know. I don't think
Well,
so.
okay, freeze. None of us know anything because we're not.
Yeah,
No one knows shit about the stock market. Even the stock market experts don't know shit, and we're definitely not stock market experts. Continue.
yeah. This is not financial advice. I'm just an idiot. Um,
Asterisks. Yeah.
but honestly, I don't know. I think it's gonna be like I think this is how we get back to somewhat normalcy is dumping into the stock market. Now you also got to think about this, especially with the AMC right now, because I'm sure most people know that AMC has been flying over the weekend into today. It's up 25% today alone. Now you got to think people are getting their stimmies soon. What do you think these people are going to do with their stimmies? They're going to go on Twitter and see all the AMC memes, and they're going to dump all their stimmies into AMC. So we're going to get another pump on AMC.
Like
I
AMC
really,
specifically, it has
yeah.
like most movie theaters aren't even open in the country.
See, that's the
Not
thing. They're
not
starting.
most,
They
but
are
yeah.
starting to open them. They are starting to open them. Like I believe New York. I believe New York actually soon. Like not right now. I think within the next couple of weeks they're opening movie theaters at like 25% capacity or something like that.
But you can only go to a Mets and Yankee game at 10% capacity.
Yeah,
Don't get don't
that'll go
don't get
up.
me fucking started on that.
That'll go up by then. Both stadiums are outdoors. Why can't it be 25%?
We have the most inept leadership. That's the only thing I will say because my one rule is no politics.
Yeah, yeah. That's it.
It's
That's all we're gonna say.
it's a slippery road to go down.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, back to the sports a little bit. You're a college hoops guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like the college hoops. Although my team sucked ass this year, really pissed me off.
Who'd you have? Who'd your team?
Nah, my favorite team is Duke, and they just
Oh,
disappointed me to
you're not a
to
Duke
the
guy
fullest.
for real.
Disappointed me to the fullest. Oh yeah, I've been a Duke guy since like my since I was in like eighth grade. I love Duke.
Um, so I was looking at the brackets. I was filling out my like initial bracket. I know Vendetta did their sports bracketology show, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, yesterday. They went through it. They had a nice live stream. Go check that out. But I did my bracket and I felt like such a fucking square because when I got to it, when I got to the final four, it was just all four number one seeds, and now I just can't figure out where like is there who's going to take down a one seed this year, and which one is it going to be?
See, okay. I know who. God, who are the one seeds again? I know it's Gonzaga, Baylor,
Michigan
Michigan.
and
Who's the fourth one seed?
Baylor. Did you say that already?
Yeah, I said Baylor. I can't remember who this the
Baylor,
fourth one seed.
Illinois, Michigan, and yeah,
Illinois.
Gonzaga.
See, here's the thing. I know it would be kind of like the trying to like outsmart everyone else to go and say that Gonzaga is going to be the team that gets upset because this always happens to them.
They're
Like
not
they
getting
always
upset this year.
no that see that's the thing. Like if you actually watch them play this year, their offense is too good. Their team is just flat out too good. They've actually had some quality wins. I think if any of the teams, any of the one seeds get upset, honestly, I'd probably go with Baylor. I'd probably go with Baylor and Michigan. Now I say Baylor and Michigan because Michigan to me, they just have that vibe of never finishing. Like 2 years ago, now I can't we didn't even have March Madness last year. 2 years ago, they were really good, made it to the final four. And then if I remember correctly, I think they absolutely shit the bed in the Final Four.
Yep.
And Baylor strikes me as that team. They've had a lot of COVID layoff. So, yeah, they'll have fresh legs, but at the same time, they might still be a little rusty. I don't think Baylor ends up legging it out. I think they're gonna beat up on the lower seed teams that they end up playing. But once they get to like the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight, Baylor I think is gonna start struggling, and I think one of those teams is gonna knock them out. I tell you what though, there is not gonna be a 16 beating a one this year. I will tell you that
It'll
right
never
now.
happen again. I just want to put that. I talked about this on my last episode. I don't think that shit's ever going to happen again.
No,
At
no.
least not for the next 20 years,
I
because the
actually
way it's
had
fucking
that.
structured. No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
I actually had that year. Virginia losing. I hated Virginia that year, so I make like at least 7 brackets. Now that one turned out to be like my best one because I had that. I had the 16 beating the one Virginia. I was actually perfect through I think 2 days, which is the longest I've ever been. I almost had an entire perfect round of 64. I think I only got 2 games wrong out of the entire round of 64 that year.
Why'd you
That
hate
was by
Virginia
far
that
my
year?
best year.
Is it because there's someone from your area that you know on the team that you didn't like very much?
I don't know. You could say that. And then you
I
could
know
also
exactly what you're talking about.
you could say that.
Dude, I have a lot of I don't want to say mutual connections, but like
I know. Yeah.
whatever. I'll say
Yeah,
this for after
yeah.
off air.
Buck Iona. Buck Iona.
Dude, but speaking of them, dude, Rick Pitino is getting credit for some reason,
I know.
as
I
if he's
know.
gonna do something, uh, as if he's the
Magical
reason for this. No,
with
they've
the
been to the
Gales.
tournament the last 5 years. Like Tim Kluse or
It's the
Kleiss, whatever his
Mac.
name is. And
It's the Mac, bro.
yeah,
I mean, come on. They play they play Fairfield and Manhattan College. I mean, come on. Like, listen, I'm not ripping on I'm not gonna rip on Manhattan College or Fairfield, but I mean, when you're sitting at Iona and you're the Mac, you're gonna get a lot of recruits, mostly from the area, and they're probably gonna be kids that are good enough to go D1, but not good enough to go to like big name schools.
and their
So
grades are maybe a little
the grades are
the
probably
little
shaky.
the Catholic school is gonna sweep a few
Yep.
things under the rug and make sure
Uh
they get
huh.
there. Yeah.
And then you got Iona being coached by Rick Pitino, so it's going to be like one of those things where these kids are going to be like, "Well, I'm going to play for Iona." I mean, Rick Pitino's the coach. I got to do well there.
Dude, the fact that first of all, Rick Pitino just being at Iona at a Catholic school is a funny idea to start with. But
It's actually hilarious.
even still, when Pitino, he's obviously not going to be at Iona forever. He's taking another job somewhere in a few years. When he puts this down on his whatever, when the college basketball reporters be like, "Well, he took Iona to the national tournament in 2021." It's like, no, or I mean, yeah, he did, but also so did they went the last 6 years, the last 7 years. Like they've been going forever, and they've been
I think
getting first round upset.
For Rick Pitino to really go and like use this as like a resume builder for his next job, get Iona past the round of 32. Get into the Sweet 16.
No, not even the round of 32. Win one game, upset someone who you're not supposed to beat. Don't just roll over. And I know they've gotten like they had Duke the last tournament or 2 tournaments ago. Like
They did have Duke.
They always get that 15-2 matchup, but like they somehow sneak into like a 13-4 or something like that, 14-3.
Yeah,
Then you do something.
to be fair to Iona, it wasn't like you were going to go and beat Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett's Duke team.
No,
that wasn't
no
happening.
chance. Yeah, that was a tough blow for them. One more thing before we wrap up. Are you a college football fan or no? Like not really.
Oh yeah.
You
Roll
are?
Tide, Roll Tide, baby.
Oh, okay. So like I was gonna say that's the answer to my question is because like how'd you pick a team, but you just happen to pick the best team in the world in the country. But like why is there no good college football in New York? It's brutal.
It blows my mind.
It's not like Long Island doesn't have good high school football, or we have all these prep schools in the area. Like if New York City could develop a decent football program, like why wouldn't anyone?
Hey, listen. My alma mater, Stepanak's been trying for years. We've been the top football team, high school wise in the state for at least the past like 5-6 years. We've been trying. We have someone in the NFL who I went to school with. We had a couple classes. Gavin Heslop. He plays corner for the Seahawks. He doesn't start, but he's on. Hey, he's on the team.
He's on the NFL roster.
Hey, he's on an NFL roster. There is a kid though coming out of Syracuse who has a decent shot at making an NFL roster this year. That would be man, why am I blanking on his name right now?
I thought you were about to say Jordan Tucker, but might make the
Not
NBA.
Jordan Tucker. Not Jordan Tucker. No. I'm blanking on this kid's name. He's from Syracuse. Though he's a corner. Williams. Trill Williams.
I know.
From
Yeah.
Yeah, Trill Williams from Syracuse. He was one of the best I think he was one of the best high school players I've ever seen in my life. I went to one game when he was a senior at Stepanak. They played Iona. I never seen a kid that nasty before. Like, and it was just crazy. I'm just like watching him on my high school team. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I don't know. We have kids this good. I'm like, Jesus.
Dude, it's between Stap, Cardinal Hayes, like all these like.
Oh, hey, I will tell you what though. We do got a step alum starting on North Carolina in the NCAA tournament. RJ Davis.
Yup. 914, baby.
Yep, that's right.
Dude, the 914 is making its waves.
It has. It really has.
We're really getting better. I mean,
look at the NBA. Look at all the guys that have come out of Westchester County. They're in the NBA. You got Eric Pascal and Donovan Mitchell. Like,
and you got Obi Toppin.
Hey, those aren't bad names right there.
That kid from UNC season he get drafted. You just mentioned.
He'll get drafted in a few. I think he's not a one and done player, but he's definitely. Maybe after his third year,
he might need 4 years at UNC.
Maybe 4 years. He'll get drafted though.
But even that, so that's the NBA. Then you got Ali Marpet, Super Bowl champion from from Hastings. I got my boy Brett in the NHL, and then he's not the only one from the 914 in the NHL. There was that Shattenkirk, a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
We're kind of branching out, but we just don't have any. Like, I'm not a big college football guy, and just because like there's no like true local interest to root in. Like Syracuse, yeah.
See, you know what it is. You know where the college football up here is just not. It's just not a big thing. It really isn't. I'd say what's our closest pride school we could have would probably be Rutgers because that's geographically the closest to us.
Pride. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'd go maybe.
You were a fan.
True. I mean, I would say
I'm not a Rutgers fan. Yeah, Syracuse is New York's team, but at the same time,
they're 6 hours north of us.
Exactly.
Like they're not even in the fucking.
Exactly. It's 6 hours north of us. I mean, if you want to go to a Rutgers game, it'll take you about an hour and a half. Not even.
Rutgers wrestling though.
Hey,
you're a wrestler.
Yep, former wrestler. That's
Dude,
right.
How come no one follows wrestling at this day? Like, I just wanted to do a college wrestling show. Like, we're in the biggest week of college, like college sports in general. Like, I'm writing these blogs by myself. Like, I just want like someone to shoot the shit with for an hour. It's a shame. I was looking at the last guy who was doing college wrestling here. He's not even here anymore. Got the S tray. I was like, what's good? Like, who am I supposed to talk about this with? So I need someone. And the study's full of former wrestlers, full of them. But no one gives a flying fuck about it. It's outstanding.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't followed college wrestling since I was. I would say since I was wrestling, probably
since ever. Yeah, I mean,
since I was wrestling, I was actually into it for a while, and like I like following like amateur college wrestlers when they go into like UFC or when they go and do WWE.
Pico.
That's what I like.
Guess you're a big Pico fan. Big Aaron Pico guy.
Nah, not really. I don't really know him.
He's in Bellator. He was literally supposed to be like the
Bellator.
next like U.S. wrestling god, and then he lost. He got the shit kicked out of him in his first Bellator fight.
I was a big Kurt Angle guy. Who else? Oh, Jake. His real name, Jake Hager. He fought in Bellator and he wrestles in AEW, but he wrestled at Oklahoma, I think, a ways back. Set like the school single season pin record.
So you're like an actual like WWE wrestling fan too, huh?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me they're at their championship titles count against anything, are you? Like when you put them in a goat talk, you're not going to put the Undertaker or the Rock in the same boat as Tom Brady.
No, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I won't.
I
I separate that to goats of wrestling. I don't include them in the goats of sports.
that's a little callback for my one of my earlier weeks of Vendetta.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Like, I love wrestling. Like, my favorite wrestler growing up as a kid, and like to this day, even though he doesn't wrestle anymore, because now he's doing movies, is John Cena. Uh, he's tied for Ric Flair at the most WWE championships. He's he's probably up there, Mount Rushmore of wrestling goats. Although I will not go and put him in the sports goat conversation.
They're just not even like it's not even in the same. It can't even be in the same stratosphere
No,
as
no, no. I will
where it's
not. I
like,
will not. I will not. It's a totally it's something totally different. The way you are viewed as a success is totally different.
and other than the fact that it's one's scripted and one's not, that's a big deal.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, it is scripted, but it's also it's more of like how you perform. You're putting on a performance. That's exactly what you're doing. You're putting on a performance. It's almost like the record, the wins losses. Like, don't even look at them most of the time. It's really just a performance you put on, and that's really how you're viewed as a success. And I mean, it takes a lot to really, like, get into it and really, like, look at who's actually good and who's not. But I will never go and put any wrestler in the GOAT of sports talk. There's maybe one guy who had a chance for that. Was Brock Lesnar, but he's just a guy that just goes for money, which I can't even deny. I can't even hate him on that. I mean, listen, go
Fuck
where
no,
the money is,
go
bro.
get your bag. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lesnar's been everywhere.
UFC champ, WWE
Dude, he's
champ,
still working out too
NCAA
in
wrestling
the
champ.
Minnesota wrestling room. He's
Oh,
still
don't worry. He'll be back for a UFC fight or a WWE event. He's gonna have Dana and Vince in a room, and he's gonna say which one of you is gonna give me more money.
who's he gonna be? I know I think it's gonna be Vince.
It's probably gonna be Vince. I think Dana might be done with giving money to Brock.
Also, Brock just doesn't seem like someone who can move too well anymore in a
That's why
octagon.
his last fight he fought old fat Mark Hunt and just kicked the crap out of him.
All right, that's gonna do it. Anthony, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, not a
Where can they
problem, man.
follow you? Where can they find you? Host a Toast Time.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the host of Toast Time. You can find my podcast, which will be recording on Wednesday. You can find me on the Vendetta Sports Media YouTube page. Just scroll down, find Toast Time. I'll be right there. And you can follow me on Twitter at ANT_font FONT1.
Anthony, thanks for coming on Kriegs Korner. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy the show.